Hey gang, how are you? I wanted to give you a quick update on how I'm doing. Last I checked in with you, I was sharing with you that I was waiting on. Um, I had gotten into three clinical trials physically. I met the requirements for three, which was a big deal because people that are in my situation, stage four, and been doing it a while, it takes such a physical toll on your body. It's hard to physically be able to participate in a trial because there's a number of elements you have to hit. But there were three. And I think I did that video on a Monday. And that Thursday, I found out that I got into one of the trials. About a week ago, I went in and signed the paperwork to start the trial and become part of it. Learning about the side effects and all of the varying things that could happen. And the side effects are, it's like when you go in or when you watch like one of those drug commercials and there's like 1,000 side effects and you just think, why would anybody take this drug? It's not 1,000, and there are a number of them, but it's a very interesting opportunity, and I feel very much that this process is being guided spiritually by the universe, by God, whatever you believe in. I really said, okay, I'm eligible for these three. God, pick the one that you think is going to work the best. And I understand that for some people they wouldn't decide that way, but as a person who has spent majority of my life trying to control every outcome, it's really freeing and loving and comforting to know that there are other powers that be that could support you and bless you and take care of you. And so I'm really leaning into my faith, and it's helped me a lot. So what is it? It's a phase 1 trial. So I'm in kind of like the first 100 people. I honestly don't even think 50 people have gone through the trial yet, which is a little holy smokes, but also there's an innovative part of me. I've always loved innovation and coming up with new ideas. And look, we've been on the most intense colon cancer chemo regimen for, like over 40 sessions, and it kept cancer at bay. And I'm glad that my body could handle it. I'm glad I could go through it. You guys know my journey. You've followed along the way. That said, it didn't get rid of the cancer, and you remember at the beginning of the year, I had the option of maybe doing surgery again. And, I've done 3 cancer surgeries, and cancer came back. So that's not a magic bullet either. And so I think it's worth trying. And now that my cancer is stable, I've had scans that pretty much, 2 quarters in a row that pretty much look about the same, very minimal growth, like just millimeters of growth. And my CEA blood marker is, going down, which I also think is great. Now's the time. It feels like now's the time. So I'm excited for the opportunity. I'm not going to lie and tell you I don't have any nerves, because I definitely do. But let me tell you a little bit. It's a immunotherapy and versus a chemotherapy. And so, as I shared, I've been doing chemotherapy for 4 years, and chemotherapy is a drug that's meant to go in and kill the cancer, in essence, a poison. And, it hurts other parts of yourself too while it's, moving through your system. But the idea is to kill those cancer cells. And there's no doubt chemo killed cancer cells, for me. But they didn't kill it all the way. And that's kind of the point. So this is an immunotherapy. And immunotherapy is when you take medicine to strengthen your immune system to fight the cancer, which, just like as an athlete, I think, all those times when our trainers and people would strengthen us before a season to, do those tense meets or those tense games and competitions. So it feels really, I don't know, just poetic or just kind of like on point. And why not try something new right now? So I'm excited for that. The first 3, it will be a weekly treatment, and on Wednesdays. I start at the end of September, and the first session I will be in the hospital overnight for observation for 36 hours. The next week, 24 hours of observation, and the next week, 24 hours of observation. And then, I will just be coming in the next few days after regular treatment to get blood work. A lot of monitoring. At first, I was really freaked out about that. My good friend Jen shared that one of her friends' moms went through a clinical trial, and that monitoring is a pretty kind of typical element. I had my brain thinking, why, what could they be giving me that they need to monitor me for 36 hours? But better safe than sorry. So I'm grateful for that opportunity. And, wanted to share a little bit with you about how I'm doing. Coming back from the blood infection and this summer has been tough. I think I am just starting to sleep again. I am not sleeping through the whole night, but I am sleeping for a couple hours, waking up, sleeping for a couple hours, that kind of thing. But mostly sleeping through the night. I mean, I every so often I still have those, last Friday or Thursday, I think I had a 3-hour sleep. And those are really tough. And then eating on top of it has been challenging, but I'm starting to catch my stride. I've dropped so much weight this summer. That has, in and of itself, has really screwed with my mind. I think looking at myself in the mirror and not seeing my own strength, like my physical strength. So all these years, even if I've not been like physically in shape, I have always honored and appreciated my muscle and the athletic part of me that represented that warrior. And so it's hard to look at the mirror and see the scarecrow, but she's gaining weight, and finally my stomach is settling after all of the meds from the blood infection. And today I got on the scale and I gained a couple pounds, and it just is such a blessing to see the scale go up and not down. And I know pounds can come a couple pounds that can come off in a day in water weight, but it's just not me. And it's I think between the bags and this, it's I haven't really wanted to leave the house. I think to a certain degree, I don't want people to see me. And then I'm just being honest. And then secondly, this is sad to say, but it's like when I leave the house, bad stuff happens to me. I don't know. At least that's what it's been this summer. And I know that's going to change. But I think the sleep is helping turn the mental tide of this. I love, part of why I appreciate this channel is being able to share my story with each of you. And as an individual, I really love watching other people's stories and their autobiographies and things like that. And this weekend I put a lot of time into, because it's a long one, Billy Joel's autobiography on HBO. And I love music, and I love his music even more now, if that's possible. But, us human beings, we all have challenges, and we have depression, and we have things happen to us that we can't control, and things that we can't control. And I know I always say this, but each of us has a mountain to move. And I think what I found so inspiring about his story is how he has moved his own mountains, and the music he's made and the people he's touched, and most importantly, how he's done it his way and authentically him. And, maybe he didn't know who he was 100% at the time, but he chose what he wanted. And I think for such a big part of my life, I felt this pressure to choose what everybody else wanted, to be a good student or a good athlete or good daughter or whatever, good person, and be liked. So if I have to say right now, what I'm really proud of is that, what you see is me. This is who I am right now. And this is really how I feel. And this is really where I'm at. And life has been really hard this summer. And I so appreciate all of you reaching out after my comments around, like, feeling like the world has passed me by. I know people that have gone through, gone to get sober and gone to treatment, who said they had a very similar experience. My brother-in-law and sister were in the military, and they felt similarly when they were deployed, that the world just, everybody just kept doing their day-to-day things, and they were in a very unique, intense situation. And so it's just interesting to me how so much of what I'm experiencing resonates with each of you in different ways. And what I want you to know right now, what I'm proud of myself for doing is not giving up on sleep and trying every night to make sure I sleep and not let myself get upset with myself if I can't. Eating little bits and a little bit more and a little bit more. And walking. I had my colorectal surgeon say that after the first surgery, you survive this if you walk every day, or something that simple. And I always have walked, and anybody knows me knows, can I call you my walk? Because I want to go on my walk. But this summer, I really haven't done much of a walk. And physically, if you want to know kind of like what I'm dealing with, I have a lot of abdominal pain, hip pain, digestive pain, and sometimes when I'm walking, it just sore. It like hurts to walk. So last couple days I've done, 10, 15 minutes, just down a little bit further and a little bit further. But I will say, a little light at the end of the tunnel today. It was 5 seconds of, it felt good. And I just felt that little glimmer of myself again. So, life can be rough. And for me, I've told you this before, my conviction is in healing others and sharing my story. And to do that, I have to survive this. And we're going to do that step by step. And if you've got something you're working on and you're trying to get after it, please do it step by step, one day at a time. And this one day at a time thing is not easy for me. I want it to move faster, but it is improving. And I'm happy to say I'm sleeping better, and I'm eating better, and I'm in a clinical trial. And I feel like this is the beginning of my real healing. And I just, I don't know. I'm emotional all the time. So I think if I had to tell you why I'm really emotional right now, is because it feels real. And I'm a little nervous, but I'm also really happy to have faith. Excited to have options. And so blessed to have all of you in my life who check in with me and care about me and ask how I'm doing. And some days are harder than others, but today was a good day. Happy to even do my hair. It's not an easy thing nowadays to shower with the bags and, walk with the bags and the bags. But it's the fall. It's my favorite time of year. I have treatment coming up. I have so many people that I love that are pulling for me. And so many people I'm pulling for who are going through their own challenges. Life might not be easy, but it makes us stronger. And I hope one day to give the gift of strength to other people and to share my story with them. And so on that note, thank you all for your love and support. I will catch up with you when maybe be either before the treatment or right after. Just kind of see how things go. But wish me luck for the next 2 weeks. I'm hoping to get some strength back, put some pounds on, and go into my first treatment a little bit stronger than I am today. So love you all. Thank you. And thanks for following up for me and with me and asking how I'm doing. Thank you for everything. Love you. Bye now.